Officially, we are going to be getting into the United States Senate race. And Julie and I made the decision maybe a week ago and made it public this morning, and are very excited to try to take a perspective to the United States Senate that is not, I guess what I'd really like to do is fight for the people who don't even pay attention to politics, who just want to get up in the morning and go to work and work hard and hope that they can send their kids to college, that there'll be some sort of retirement for them when they, when they reach their retirement years, that they can afford a modest home. And with all of the interest in Washington, D.C. these days, I think that's the perspective that is missing most. And that's what I'm hoping to bring to this United States Senate race.
Congressman, why did you decide now?
Well, I mean, I think it's been a process. Certainly when Senator Bingaman, who has been an incredible public servant for the state of New Mexico for 30 years, I at least did not expect him to retire. When he did, it sort of set the wheels in motion of thinking about this and thinking about how we can best serve the people of New Mexico. And it took us a good 5 or 6 weeks to come to this conclusion. But I really believe that the most effective place to fight from for New Mexicans is to have good representation in the United States Senate.
You were just reelected a few months ago, so what happens with that position now?
Well, I'm going to continue to fight for the people of central New Mexico for the rest of my term. We're not changing a thing about how we operate our official office. We have some of the most incredible constituent service people in the nation, and whether people need help with their VA benefits or just navigating the bureaucracy, we're going to be there for them each and every day for the rest of my term, no matter what happens within this race.
Do you know, with some of the names that are being thrown out there of people who might be running for that spot, at this point, do you have anyone that...
I know I'm running.
for your seat,
for my seat?
Your vacancy.
No, I'm not gonna get involved in that race. But there are some very, I think, going to be some very attractive candidates looking at that race. We've got a great bench of folks and some really good local representation here. So I'm very hopeful for the future of that seat.
How much money will it take to run an effective primary and general election in 2012?
Well, I haven't sat down and done the budget yet. Obviously, the politics is much more expensive than any of us would like it to be. Part of the reason why we kicked things off today the way we did, sending a web video out to our supporters, really trying to show that we're going to utilize not just the typical old-fashioned Senate race, but we're going to do everything we can to bring people into this race in a grassroots way and engage people who haven't been part of the process before, and try to expand the tent of people who care about what's going on within their government. So I don't know the answer to your question on how much it's going to cost, but I think more importantly the real question is, how do you get people excited about the future of our state and the future of our country again? And that's what this campaign is going to be about.
And while other candidates haven't yet announced for the primary, you're talking about engaging more people who've stayed outside of the tent of the democratic process and voting. Would you pledge in the primary race to stay positive and not engage in negative campaigning?
Well, I am one who believes in putting my vision of the future out there, and that's going to be our goal in the primary race, is to put out the most positive face that I can about my service to this state. We are going to have to work very hard to earn the respect of people all across this state. We're going to be traveling from Las Cruces to Mora to Taos, from Clovis to Gallup, and we have a lot of work cut out for us. It's a big state, one of the biggest in the union, and so one of the great things about the next few months is I'm going to get back out there across this beautiful state and get to meet people firsthand and try to get them excited about the future of this country again.
Now, 5 years ago, some people might have said you were too young to run for this, but you have some experience now under your belt. What do you have to say to those people?
Well, I'm getting older by the day, unfortunately, but if you look back at when Pete Domenici and when Jeff Bingaman stepped into these shoes, Jeff Bingaman was 38 years old, a little younger than I am right now. All I can say is that look at my record. We're going to keep fighting for average, hardworking New Mexicans. And I think at the end of the day, more than anything else, that's what people want in a representative in Washington, somebody who's going to put their interests first.
Steve Pierce has already sent out a statement on your announcement and release of the video today, saying that you have a moderate rhetoric but extreme views. And what has prepared you to campaign for a statewide office for the first time?
Well, I think one of the things that gives me a good jumping off point is that I have worked across the state. I've worked in communities well outside of the Albuquerque region, and I'm the kind of person who can bring a little more civility to our political discourse, sit down with people, find some common ground. It's unfortunately these days there has been a trend away from civility, but when you bring that back into the public discourse, you can get so much more done. And I've proven on the Armed Services Committee, even on the Natural Resources Committee, that I can work across the aisle with my colleagues, and we're going to continue to do those kinds of constructive politics.
Why did you make your announcement at this event today, the Cesar Chavez event at the National Hispanic Cultural Center?
I think the thing that runs through my life as a thread that I can always touch back to is how hard my parents worked when I was growing up, so that I would have more opportunities than they had. My mom never finished high school, my father never finished college. They're two of the smartest, hardest working people I've ever known, and because they worked so hard, they gave me opportunities that they didn't have. That's an ethic that is at the heart of what Cesar Chavez was all about. And I wanted to announce on a day that says working people matter. And we're going to make sure by hard work that the next generation of New Mexicans, my son Carter, my son Micah, all the children in elementary school and today, that they have those kinds of opportunities moving forward. That they have a brighter future, one where there are more jobs, where there are more opportunities, where they get the education that they deserve. And that's the kind of vision for the state that I want to put forward.
Representative Heinrich, we're outside on a beautiful day. Will you take us inside the party and tell us whether or not the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is clearing the decks for you to run unopposed in the primary?
I don't think that anyone can clear the decks. It's a free country. Anyone can run. And our strategy is going to not only get out there first, but to make sure that we work harder than anyone else, that we travel the state to make sure that we earn the support of every corner of the state.
And certainly
thank you all for coming out today. I'm really excited about this, and we're going to be seeing a lot of each other over the next 18 months.
Can you just tell us real quick about the budget negotiations in the House for next week?
We'll be happy to set
Yeah,
something
we can
up
set
on
something
that.
up, Peter. I'll set something up with you.